Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, the law of the vital few, and the principle of factor sparsity, states that for many outcomes, roughly 80% of consequences come from 20% of causes, the vital few.
Do you have plenty of time for all the things that you have to do in the day, in the week, in the month, or the year? The answer is probably not. People speak about time management all the time, but to be honest, you can't really manage time. And the fact that you're talking about time management hints that you have some control over time, and that's not the case. When it comes to time, we can't really manage it. You can't really manage it. You can't really control it, right? Everyone gets the same 7, 24, 365. We can't speed it up. We can't slow it down. We can't add time. We can't subtract it. Time is its own constant, right? So coming from the perspective of one of my favorite football coaches, Bear Bryant, he said, you can waste your money and what you'll end up is broke. But if you waste your time, what happens is you lose segments of your life, right? There's pieces of your life that you don't get to take advantage of.
Is that, it gets overwhelming to the point where you can't really sort out. They all blend together. But Dave's been along there for the journey for most of the time, so he gets an earful for sure.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where you were trying to cull the herd to figure out what the next moves were, which is technically prioritizing what you were trying to do, in essence, the Pareto principle, to get to the right things to put energy and effort to. So let me give you an example here real quick. Jim and I were talking, it's probably been about 3 or 4 months. He owns and operates a couple different businesses, but at one point we got together and we were talking, and he was actually, what was the term you used, Jim? I can't think of what it was, when you were aligning all your thoughts about which moves you were going to make.
Just realizing that the hard part for me trying to apply Pareto to what I'm doing right now is I've also got experiments going in several different directions. So it's hard to apply. You can 80-20, or 20-80 all you want with Pareto. You can't really necessarily do that at the same time while you're experimenting because you don't really know what's going to produce results yet. So it's kind of like a data application on the backside where we're like trying new things and then trying to monitor, results specifically to see if we're getting traction in any area.
Well, but remember, you Paretoed up front, right? You went through about a 3-week period where you were like, dude, I got this things and I'm trying to figure out what's what and blah, 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 blah. That was Pareto, right?
We culled the herd on, specifically for hotel staff.
But same thing, right? You went through and culled the herd. That's technically you prioritized and said, I'm not doing these. These are the ones that I need to spend my energy and effort and time on. So you do Pareto.
What ended up happening was that opened up the timeline for experimentation, busy versus productive. You know what I mean? Like,
correct.
Once I was able to see, it's made it a lot easier to say no to things, right? That I'm
going to bring that up.
Ultimately don't move the needle.
Yeah, psychologist Billy Jones said the same thing.
Right.
Being wise is knowing what not to do.